I'm happy to turn it over to one of my colleagues from the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. So now, Beate, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah, perfectly.
Let me start sharing my screen. And you can see, I hope you can see my screen. So I'm presenting a talk about COVID-19 shutdown and our misconceived hopes that we made actually a dent in climate change. And I'm gonna say, not so cool. And I want to explain the next 5 minutes why I'm saying this. Because global warming is not what you see in this image in the back. And every image you see in the media, on TV or other media that talks about global warming has a smokestack like this. But global warming is caused by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, mainly carbon dioxide, and they are odorless and invisible gases released by burning of fossil fuels. What you actually see coming out of the smokestack is droplets and particulate matter. And these particulates and droplets, they have exactly the opposite effect, namely a regional cooling. And the main difference between the carbon dioxide and these aerosol particles is actually their lifetime. And carbon dioxide continuously accumulates in the atmosphere. And so its concentrations steadily rise. So during the COVID-19 shutdown, particularly in the early parts of 2020, we did indeed reduce the emissions globally, but this is only on an average by about 7%, which leads us to an emission level that is basically what we did 2013. So it just turns us back 7 years. The full increase is still the same, and doesn't make much of a difference. What really does make a difference, which we all saw so obviously, is the visible air pollution. And for example, sulfur dioxide got reduced by 70%. And visible air pollution, these particulates are only in the air for about a week or so. And Google and Apple mobility data showed that about half of the world's population reduced their travel by about 50% during April 2020, which caused these beautiful skies, blue skies and bright sunlight. I have downloaded some air pollution data that you can see these changes from the satellite. Where you see a bloom, you basically is red or yellowish, and this is China. I'm showing you two examples, two pictures of China, and Beijing is on the red dot on the upper right side. The right image I downloaded a couple of days is from a couple of days ago, the April 16th of this year. And the left image is from the same day, April 16, a year ago. And especially with Beijing, you clearly see the difference. So Beijing skies were definitely brighter, and the whole Southeast Asia was brighter. I also downloaded an image from the West Coast. You see on the left-hand side, April 21, 2020, and on the right-hand side, April 18, a couple of days ago. So the more yellow means actually more pollution, and the more white is less pollution and more sunlight reaching the surface. So when you have more pollution, you have more sunlight is reflected back to space, and this causes a cooling. So when you do the opposite, when you remove these mirrors, you get a warming. These aerosols, these particles have a whole set of other implications for the climate system. And the most crucial one is their impacts on clouds and on rainfall pattern, particularly in regions where rainfall is seasonal, like the Southeast Asian monsoon. You can really affect the patterns of droughts and rains. And this is now this is now the study of quite a few investigations that relate these COVID-19 shutdown and these increased brightening with the changes in rainfall pattern. And we will see a lot coming out of this. But the indications show that we might get more monsoon rainfall. We might have gotten more monsoon rainfall because of the shutdown, and we may also have gotten the fires more intense in the West. So overall, when you think about these climate change agents, the greenhouse gases, the aerosols, and others like the contrails, you can only say, and I'm showing this in this picture from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report, that greenhouse gases, which are these red bars, have not really budged much. The zero line divides the warming from the cooling. What really changed is these aerosols and aerosols cloud interactions. So we unmasked, by reducing these cooling effects, we unmask the global warming, and we actually get the opposite. We get more warming. So overall, this means the fact that we see bluer skies and more sun doesn't help anything to fight climate change. In contrary, we just unmask the real result of our addiction to fossil fuels and the burning of carbon. So with this at somewhat negative note, I want to actually leave you and hope this misconception is cleared.